Dito lang sa Radyo Katipunan, 87.9 FM.
To open our eyes and ears that we may see the face of Christ and hear His voice in our midst. For 28 years, Jesuit Communications has been promoting the Catholic faith and serving the nation through both traditional and new media. Hear us tackle national issues in light of Christian values on Usapang Kapatid, Pasakalye, and Radio Veritas. Watch our uplifting reflections on Kapet Pandasal and The Word Exposed, as well as our acclaimed TV specials. Listen to the inspiring and soothing music of Jesuit Music Ministry's original artists as you read our spiritually enriching books. To learn more about JustCom's mission of evangelization and education, follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and our website, justcom.ph. To give a face to the faceless and a voice to the voiceless, that we may recognize Christ in them and hear His story in theirs.
Radyo Katipunan, 87.9 FM. Tara na't simulan ng inyong umaga sa mga magagandang refleksyon tungkol sa ating buhay at pananampalataya. Kasama sina Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle, Father J. Boy Gonzales at Father Nono Alfonso ng Kapisanan ni Jesus, Father Cali Llamado ng Manila Cathedral at Binibining Risa Singson Kaupeng ng Light of Jesus Community dito sa Kapet Pandasal sa Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Huwag kang puro utos. Ito po si Father Cali ng Manila Cathedral. Halina po at magkapet pandasal. Sa darating na linggo ay ipagdiriwang natin ang Good Shepherd Sunday. Ipagdarasal natin ang ating mga pastol, mga namumuno sa ating pamayanan at lalo na sa ating simbahan. Pinagsabihan ni Jesus ang ilang mga namumuno noong panahon niya. Sabi niya, mahilig kayong magbigay ng utos, pero hindi nyo naman ginagawa ang mga iniuutos ninyo. In short, huwag kayong puro utos lang. Kung pinuno ka sa pamilya, pamayanan o simbahan, tignan mo rin, makatao pa ba ang utos ko? Kumikilos din ba ako para maging mabuting halimbawa sa mga inuutusan ko? Baka utos ako ng utos, hindi naman ako nagbibigay ng tamang sweldo. Baka marami akong utos, pero gutom naman at nanghihina ang mga empleyado ko. Mga kapatid, ang mabuting pastol, ang mabuting pinuno, ay hindi lamang puro utos, kundi sinisiguro niyang makatao rin ang kanyang mga utos. Jesus, mabuting pastol, baguhin niyo ang puso ng aming mga pinuno. Amen.
Radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, radyo, Katipunan. Sa Blue Eagle kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay at tenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng kwela. Radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, Katipunero, sugod, todo sa kayod, dunong at tulong, lipat na Blue Eagle, galing giting nagigil, blue and white, one big fight. Radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, 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 Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, Katipunan, radyo, radyo, radyo,
lamig, init, ulan, hangin, kumakalingang kalikasan. Ating alagaan at ingatan. Kumusta na ang ating kalikasan? Pag-usapan natin ang kalagayan ng mundo at kung paano tayo makatutulong sa pagkalinga sa ating tahanan. Kasama sina Father J.M. Manzano ng Kapisanan ni Jesus at si Dr. Abencio V. Rotor. Ito ang Tatakalikasan sa Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Ang magandang umaga po sa ating lahat at lalong-lalo na po sa inyo na masugid naming mga taga-subaybay ng Tatakalikasan. Muling nagbabalik po ang ating programa at magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Ako po si Father J.M. Manzano ng Kapisanan ni Jesus. At
naman si Abe Rotor o Dr. Abe. Magandang umaga sa inyo lahat.
Naimbag nga bigat mat Doc Abe, naimbag nga bigat kadagiti adadita Ilocos region, digiti Ilocano. Maayong buntag pod sa atong mga kaigsuunan sa Visayas and Mindanao region. Sige, magsimula po tayo sa isang panalangin. Alalahanin natin na tayo ay nasa kalinga ng ating Panginoon. Sa ngalan ng Ama at ng Anak at ng Espiritu Santo. Amen. Mula sa awit ng Sangnilikha ni San Francisco de Assis. Sa iyong kapurihan at kaluwalhatian, pagpapalat dangal, karangalang ito'y tanging sa iyo lang kataas-taasan at walang sino mang marapat sumambit ng iyong pangalan. Purihin ka poon kasama ng lahat ng iyong nilalang. Lalong-lalo na po sa kay Kuya Araw, siya namang tanglaw. Sa kanyang kariktan kaming nilikhamoy naliliwanagan. Nakabibighani at nagliliwayway, may dakilang kinang. At ikaw o poong kataas-taasan ang nilalarawan. Sa ngalan ng Ama at ng Anak at ng Espiritu Santo. Amen. Okay, so katulad ng ating tema, no? Ito ay continuation po sa ating mga nakaraang mga episodes tungkol sa mga sakuna at ito ay ang paghahanda naman po, ang tema tungkol sa paghahanda para sa mga iba't ibang sakuna na atin ang natalakay sa mga nakaraang episodes. So maganda kasi kaming dalawa lang po ni Doc Abe ang makakapanayam niyo po ngayon dahil kayo pong aming mga taga-subaybay ang kasama namin, no? Kayo po yung parang magsisilbing guest sa pamamagitan ng inyong mga sagot, no? Sa isang katanungang ibabato po namin sa inyo. I think yan ang isang maganda para marinig din po namin ang inyong mga komentaryo, lalong-lalo na sa mga napakagandang mga naging talakayan natin sa mga nakaraang linggo. Si Doc Abe ay meron siyang mga sinulat na nailimbag na niya sa kanyang blog at pwede niyo pong bisitahin, no, ang avrotor.blogspot.com. Napakarami po yung mga ibinabahagi ni Doc Abe doon.
Brother JM, pwede na lang i-download at madali lang yon. Katulad yung sinabi ni Father JM, Nature's Biological Early Warning System. So yung early warning system, hindi lang gawa-gawa ng science and technology o gawa ng tao. Mas malinaw pa yung early warning system na nakikita natin sa kapaligiran because nature provided us with a system to detect so that we can prepare for the eventuality na darating ang disaster na katulad yung sinabi na Father JM, mula sa earthquake hanggang sa sunod-sunod pala yung sunog, Father JM. And then, itong kasalukuyan El Nino phenomenon, expected pala na lalala pa itong coming months. And this will be an El Nino year. So, tatalakayan natin yan. Then, pwede ninyong i-download tungkol dyan sa El Nino, Understanding El Nino Phenomenon and Global Warming. May kaugnayan sa global warming sa El Nino. In fact, yung ginagawa natin na ang consequence ay umiinit ang mundo natin, has an effect on El Nino. Yung term exacerbate the effects of El Nino. So these are two episodes na tinalakay namin nung nakaraan na pwede ninyong i-download at pwede ninyong i-print, gamitin po ninyo sa school, sa community, lalo sa family members. And then meron akong pinahabol dito kasi may mga nagtatanong, Father JM, how will our word end? And the title of this article is, Our Word Ends in 10 Ways daw, 10 bagay. Dahilan. So this is only a very short article. Pwede na rin yung i-download at i-print.
Ayan.
Ang napansin ko dito, Father Jeff, na of the 10 ways the word ends, ang napupuna ko dito is we lose the will to survive. Yan pala yung isang malaking bagay. Galing pala sa atin, hindi yung outside of us. Ito yung something we can immediately not only foretell, but we can within our means control. We lose the will to survive.
Ayan. So, Doc Abe, so maraming salamat sa iyong mga hinanda na makakatulong, lubos na makakatulong sa ating mga panauhin, sa ating mga taga-subaybay, na makakatulong lalong-lalo na sa paghahanda, para sa kahit na anumang sakuna na pwedeng dumating. At syempre sa kaalaman, pagpapaalala ulit sa ating mga taga-subaybay na ang ating programa ito ay patungkol sa Laudato Si na sinulat ni Pope Francis, na ito yung patungkol sa pagkalinga sa ating katipunang tahanan on care for our common home. So maganda yung katipunang tahanan kasi nasa Radyo Katipunan po tayo, at alam po natin, katulad ng mga nakarang episode natin, nasa loob ng ating katipunang tahanan ay maraming mga pwedeng mangyari, lalong-lalo na dito. Siyempre, yung mga magagandang mga pangyayari, at meron din yung mga hindi magagandang pangyayari katulad ng mga sakuna na kailangang paghandaan natin. Kasi katulad ng lindol, sinabi ng ating mga eksperto na wala talagang paraan para ma-predict. Kumbaga, ma-predict, malalaman lang natin kung saan pwedeng sumalanta ito na maraming mapaperwisyo, pero kung kailan ay mahirap ito masasagot. So, meron tayong ibabatong katanungan, Doc Abe, para sa ating mga taga-subaybay. Katulad ng mga doktor, di ba tinatanong nila tayo kapag tayo nagpapatingin sa doktor, from 1 to 10, gaano kasakit ang isang nararamdaman o isang karamdaman. So dito naman po, from rating 1 to 10, ang 10 bilang pinakahanda at ang numero 1 at pinakahindi handa. Para sa inyo, from 1 to 10, magbigay ng isang numero. At kalakip ng numerong ito ay paano mo naman nasasabi, ano yung napapaloob sa numerong ito na masasabi mo handa ka o hindi ka pa handa sa mga sakunang posibleng dumating. No? So, inaanyayahan po namin kayo ni Doc Abe na mapabilang sa ating survey na ito.
Pero yung rating nila, Father JM, ibigay nila yung reason o kaya yung
Tama.
underlying circumstances.
Yes. At,
That's an open invitation to our listeners, Father JM.
Yan,
Yung nabanggit ninyo na Laudato Si, maraming nagtatanong kasi Latin yun Laudato Si. But it is a very simple statement in English. Praise be to you. Laudato Si, praise be to you. Ito ay ang nanggaling kay Francis, Saint Francis of Assisi. Nung sinabi niya, praise be you, my Lord, with all your creatures. Sabi. So, yan ang basis ng encyclical letter ni Pope Francis. Laudato Si, praise be to you. Ngayon, yung may access sa research, pwede ninyong buksan sa internet kung ano yung content ng Laudato Si. And you will find out that Laudato Si is made up of several chapters. Kung bibilangin ninyo, there are 6 chapters for the Laudato Si. Parang mabigyan kayo ng mas maliwanag na yung ibig sabihin ng Laudato Si ni Pope Francis.
Ayan. Salamat Doc Abe sa mga paalalang ito, no? At so sisimulan na po natin yung ating talakayan patungkol sa tamang paghahanda, no? Kasi paano ba nga tayo naghahanda para sa mga sakunang ito? Katulad, halimbawa, yung mga natalakay na natin nung nakaraan, ang tungkol sa pandemya, ba? Ni Father Jordan Orbe, pinag-usapan natin ang tungkol sa tamang kaisipan, no? Sa mental health, no? Ang pagpapanatili ng ating mental health para sa isang pandemya na ating dinaanan. At pagkatapos nun ay napag-usapan natin ang tungkol sa El Nino, no? Naging panauhin po natin ang mula sa Pag-asa, no? Ang isang weather specialist. At pagkatapos po noon ay natalakay natin ang tungkol sa The Big One. Ang The Big One po ay ito yung lindol na tatama sa West Valley Fault, no? At nakapanayan po natin ang isang geologist, no? Mula sa University of the Philippines. At pagkatapos nito ay napag-usapan natin itong nakaraang Huwebes lamang po ang tungkol sa ground subsidence, ang unti-unting paglubog ng lupain, halimbawa ang Metro Manila at ang mga malapit na mga syudad, na mga lungsod, at hindi lamang po yan ang ground subsidence, no? Ang nagpapalala pa nito ay ang sea level rise dahil ang ating klima, no? Ang pagbabago ng ating klima na nagdudulot ng pagtaas ng nivel ng sea waters. So, syempre, si Doc Abe makapagbigay ng mga iba't ibang paraan. Pero, para sa akin, kwan lang, no? Kasi iba't ibang sakuna, iba't ibang klase ng paghahanda yung kinakailangan dito, no? Meron yung mga sakuna na talagang mapapaghandaan natin kasi mabibigyan tayo ng panahon. No? Meron din po yung mga sakuna, di ba, Doc Abe? Katulad ng lindol. Katulad ng lindol na katulad ng sinabi ng mga geologists, no? Anytime it can strike. Anytime it can strike.
Yeah.
So what kind of preparedness could be done?
Ah, yung isang bagay na kasalukuyan tinatalakay diyan sa media ay yung paghahanda natin ng El Nino.
Mm-mm.
Ano? Actually, nagsimula na yung El Nino.
Mhm.
Ang El Nino ay cyclical. Although, napag-aralan nila that it is more or less a 10-year cycle,
Mhm.
meron yung sub-cycle sa pagitan. And sometimes, hindi lang 5 years, minsan 2 years. Tapos, 7 years. So instead na 10 years, kung minsan 7 years na may pagitan, which is the sub-cycle. Now the question is that, can we predict El Nino? Just like what Father Jen said, ang hirap ma-predict ang earthquake, the big one, because the knowledge of man ay hindi pa sapat na mag-establish ng certain certainty na mangyari yan at a certain place and at a certain time. However, for El Nino, historically, na pinagko-connect nila. And so the scientists were able to determine when an El Nino year would come. Now, to us, this is an El Nino year. Now, why called El Nino? It's because the time is at the end of the year when the warm water on the equator goes down because of Peru, Chile, and on December 25, doon nila mararamdaman at masasalubong yung cold, yung warm current. And the warm current is not good in terms of climate, weather and climate, and in terms of economics. Many people suffer because of El Nino. Kasama tayo doon, Father J.M. So the first thing that we are experiencing now is drought. Wala nang ulan na malakas. At kung meron man, sporadic. I remember when, in my younger days, meron kaming prayer. In fact, sumasama kami sa procession ng San Isidro. Ewan ko, Father Jem, kung nakasama kayo doon.
Ayan, oo. I think naalala ko pa yan. Tama. May 15.
And we are still at the onset of May. So the whole May and also a large part of June ay kasama pa rin yan sa sinasabi natin na dry season. Ang wet season starts in June and it peaks in July and August, and most likely in most places it is in August. So mahaba pa ito, Father Jen, natin. So anong gagawin natin? So unang-una, nakita ko na pagtitipid ng current, electricity, and including water and money, because if you do not save for there's the so-called term like save for the rainy day. Here, save during the El Nino. It's part of yung paghahanda natin, pagharap natin ng phenomenon nito. So, recycle water, that's one.
Ayun.
When you recycle water, other than pagtitipid, then you can use used water for many things like cleaning, like watering the plants. Then second is, when it rains, take the opportunity to harvest rain. Imbakin natin ito, and this can be used for many purposes. So it is really a way by which we can get water then use the water for many ways, including yung paglilinis sa bahay. And huwag kalimutan, it is always good na meron tayong imbakin na tubig just in case of fire. But be sure to cover this properly, parang hindi itlugan ng damo. So these are some of the things that we are learning on media and from especially the old folk. Then another one is, pag magtanim ka ngayon, huwag ka naman magtanim ng plants that require too much water. Tulad ng mais. Ang mais, maraming kailangan, even if it's only 90 to 100 days crop, pero maraming kailangan at this time. So kung maaari, plant vegetables instead rather than field crop like corn. Then another one, another JF is let us look into ways by which we do not waste food. Food is very important. Do not waste food. There are many ways by which we can preserve food by increasing shelf life and by cooking it into another menu or recipe. So, yan, Father
Yan.
pick up
Napakaganda.
sa media.
Oo, so ito yung isang sakuna katulad ng El Nino, na sa pamamagitan ng paggawa pala, katulad ng sinabi mo, Doc Abe, na kahit na mga maliliit na bagay, mga mumunting bagay ng pagtitipid, ay nakakatulong tayo sa pag-mitigate ng mga masisidhing epekto ng El Nino. So, yun, yung preparedness and at the same time, mitigation of the adverse effects of these natural disasters. No? Magtipid ng tubig, magtipid ng kuryente. At ito nga, Doc Abe, kasi halos lahat nakabukas na yung aircon dito sa Metro Manila, syempre. At ito yung nagpapasidhi pa doon sa pag-init ng panahon, para tayong linuluto ba sa sa sarili nating mantika, parang ganon. So, sa Katipunang Tahanan, everything is connected. Kaya napakaganda in terms of looking at all of these mechanisms of preparing ourselves. It's really important to see, even the little things matter so much.
Yes. Historically, El Nino has been recorded even during the Spanish period. In fact, the term El Nino is a Spanish word. It's the child, the Holy Child. And today we use the old term, still El Nino, to describe the phenomenon. Although scientifically it has an acronym, ENSO, El Nino Southern Oscillation. So when you hear El Nino and ENSO, they are the same. Now, the worst recorded episode of the El Nino was in the earliest is 1790 to 93. That's 3 years, period of 3 years. Then there was a historical record here in 1828, then followed by 1876 up to 1878. These are the early records. But then, in 1925 to 26, 2 years, and the worst that forced us to import rice was in 1972, 73. So Father Jam.
Okay. So, Dito sa ano, sige, kuha ka muna, Doc Abby. Inom ng tubig.
Yung this is an allergy. For a moment, I'll be back.
Okay. Sige. So, ito pa lang, no? So, sa El Nino na napag-usapan natin nung nakaraang episode with Mr. Robert Badrina mula sa Pag-asa, na ito na nga nararamdaman natin, no, nakakaapekto sa ating mga pang-araw-araw na pamumuhay, at ito yun din ang nagpapasidhi, no, doon sa mga kaganapan katulad ng mga sunog, no, na dumadami na sa mga panahong ito. Kaya napakaganda po, napakainam na tayo ay talagang maging mulat, maging mapagmatsyag palagi, lalong-lalo na sa mga simpleng bagay ng mga chargers, mga cellphone chargers, kasi dahil mainit ang panahon, no? Syempre, that will add to the heating up of all of these electronic gadgets, devices that we have. At dahil dito madalas ang pinagmumulan ng mga sunog, no, kapag sa panahon na mainit talaga.
Yes, Father Jen. Sorry at di naman ako ng allergy. And this is just a warning. We have now a new kind of energy. It's not really new, but lumalala ito. Dust allergy.
Dust
So we
allergy.
have now dust pollution. We have a kind of pollution that is in the air, and everywhere you go, dust.
Kahit dyan po sa probinsya, Doc Abe, diba? Kasi si Doc Abe ay nasa San Vicente, Ilocos sa probinsya, no? At ito ay it's a worldwide phenomenon, no?
Yes, Father Jan. Ang isang iwasan natin ay yung pagsusunog. Pagsunog ng plastic. Because ang isa sa mga toxic materials na spewed into the air ay dioxin. Dioxin is the most poisonous man-made poison. Dioxin. So whenever you burn plastic, you emit dioxin. Kaya tumama sa akin kanina, kaya tumindig ako, ay dioxin. Basta mayroon magsunog at yung usok papasok sa lugar mo. So, ang isang ruling natin, kung maaari lang, do not burn plastics. Now, today, because of the change in biodegradable plastics, the air is now laden with plastic particles. So, this is a new kind of allergen. Many people are sensitive to plastic pollution in the air. So sinasabi namin neto ni Father Jen because ang paghahanda ay hindi lang sa nagagawa ng science and technology, kung hindi yung magagawa din natin. As much as possible, let us not burn lalo yung plastics. And then another one, iwasan na natin ang paggamit ng plastic, iwasan na natin ang yung mga single-use plastic. Ruling na yun, pinagbabawal.
At isang sakuna, Doc Abe, kasi napag-usapan natin minsan, no, yung the new acid rain, may nakapagsulat na the new acid rain is plastic rain, no? Kasi ito ay isang sakuna, no, sa makabagong mundo, no, sa paggamit, walang tigil na paggamit at ano na rin, ng mga plastic, 'di ba? Kaya ito ay kasama na sa ulan, sa tubig ulan. No, kaya nga nakikita na there are particles, there are plastic microparticles, no, sa ating ulan ngayon. At ito ay isang sakuna, no? Isang sakuna na kailangan din malaman ng bawat isa sa atin.
Nung malilit kami, Father Jem, sabi ng tatay, ang purest form of water is rainwater.
Mm-mm.
Yung nabanggit nyo na acid rain
Mm-mm.
is now one of the most dangerous
Mm-hmm.
sources of water. Hindi lang yung acid that is created by the reaction of water
Mm-hmm.
with gases like carbon dioxide, like sulfur dioxide, but the water is also acidic,
Mm-mm.
and it is detrimental. It is
Mhm.
detrimental to plants and animals.
Mm-hmm.
There are cases where plants die because of acid rain.
Mm-hmm.
And yung sabi nila na fish kill, that is also a result of too much acid rain. Now, kung minsan, tinitignan natin yung sky, then sabi natin, uulan yata.
Mm-hmm.
Hindi, not in all cases.
Mm-hmm.
Yung dark clouds actually are carbon particulates
Mm-hmm.
and materials in the air na hindi pa bumababa, hindi pa nagpo-condense. Condense with the rain and fall to the ground. So those are things that we can do, Father Jem. But we have to look around. Nature is providing us very good indicators. Pag nakita natin ang gamo-gamo, swarming of termites, malapit nang darating ang ulan. At saka there must be a place where they are coming from. And these are the nesting ground of the termites. So next season, nandun na naman ang next swarming ng termite.
Oo. Napakaganda yung sinabi mo, Doc Abe, kasi ang ating inang kalikasan ay tinutulungan tayo, no, sa kanyang paraan, no? Wala sa teknolohiya, pero isang pagpapaalala na mayroong darating, no? At katulad na lang doon sa natatalakay natin nung isang episode, yung earthquake, di ba? Yung earthquake na hindi ma-predict, no? Hindi agad ma-predict, pero may mga palatandaan sa inang kalikasan na merong nangyayari sa ilalim ng lupa, no? Nakakarinig ang mga hayop katulad ng aso. Halimbawa, naalala ko pa noong the Great Earthquake, that was 1991, 1990, na yung mga hayop ay talagang parang may naririnig sila na hindi sila mapakali, kumbaga, no?
Yes, Father Jem. There are times na makita natin yung kapok, cotton tree, ang daming bunga. Sabi ng mga farmers, this is an indication na hindi na naman maganda yung rice harvest sa susunod. And the explanation for that, because the soil contains very little water. And the reaction of the tree, because the roots of the tree are secondary, they are just spread on the surface of the ground. Nature provided that built-in mechanism, so to speak, for the tree to flower profusely. Picture by bar. So pag makita nila, mababa na naman ang ani ng palay sa susunod, just by looking at the
kapok tree, no? May nakita nga ako, nakita ko kamakailan lang, Doc, no? Sa may Katipunan Avenue, no? Talagang parang cherry blossom yung kapok tree, no? Sa dami ng kanyang cotton.
Another one is yung earthworm.
Mhm.
You see earthworm coming out from their burrows, and they
Mhm.
are on the surface of the ground.
Mhm.
Expect another phenomenon to happen, and that is flooding. So they can detect yung coming of too much water. They escape and try
Mhm.
to higher ground. So pag
Mhm.
makita ninyo yung mga earthworms, mga bulate na nagsisilikas na from their homes and from their
Mhm.
burrows, expect the coming of a of flood. So
Mhm.
that's another one. And then another is pag makakita tayo ng salugubang
Mhm.
abal-abal in Ilocano,
Mhm.
usually pag nakita mo yan sa April,
Oo.
dapat masaya ka because maagang ulan.
Ah,
Maagang ulan. So,
Di ba, Doc Abe, ito yung mga tinatawag na June beetle?
June bitter. Kaya pag
Mm.
makakita ka ng nag-emerge sa April, the
Oo.
farmers say, let's us prepare already the seeds
Mhm.
for planting. So by
Mm-mm.
May, nakapaghanda na sila ng pudla. Pero pag hindi lumalabas yan na mga salugubang, and it will be in the later part of May, then sabihin ng farmers, mahirap na naman ito. Late na naman yung pagtanim ng palay. So kung late ang pagtanim ng palay, late din ang pag-harvest. At pag late ang harvest ng palay, late din ang pagtatanim ng second crop, which may be vegetables. So chain reaction na ito. So
Oo.
how do they know? We call that instinctive intelligence, which is very difficult to explain in the classroom. Which reminds me of a movie, The Gods Must Be Crazy, the part one. And a woman, a PhD holder, was assigned to teach among the bushmen of Africa, the middle of Africa. And when she was there, first it was desert. Napansin ng bushman that she was just being carefree in an area where the bushman know that there is danger in the place. So, ang ginawa ng bushman, he tried to look for the direction of the wind, and later on, he said to the woman visitor, let us move to this safer side because at the end, there may be predators that are dangerous. So they move to another place. And then at one time, wala silang tubig, and the bushman was able to get wild yam, yung singkamas na malaki, source of water. And you know what the bushman said? Why is this guest so ignorant? Well, quote and unquote. But the term there is ignorant in the sense that she lacked the instinctive intelligence of survival, which is lacking today, especially among the younger generation. The instinctive intelligence for survival. So these are just examples, Other GM.
Yan. May utak talaga ang ating inang kalikasan, Doc Abe. No?
Yes.
At ito yung parang naglalag behind pa tayo. Pero alam ang mga kaalamang ito noong unang panahon, Doc Abe, no, sa pamamagitan ng pagmamasid, talagang pagmumuni-muni, no, pag-obserba sa kapaligiran. Pero sa kasamaang palad ay kasalukuyan na ito na yung nawawala din na kaalaman, lalong-lalo na sa ating mga kabataan. At syempre, para sa akin din, no, isa rin akong biktima dahil dito na lumaki, halimbawa sa syudad na malayo na sa probinsya or malayo na sa mga tao na mayroong malapit na relasyon sa inang kalikasan, katulad ng mga magsasaka, mga mangingisda. at iba pa.
Yes, I can cite more.
Sige, Doc Abe.
Yung mga langgam, when they start moving and they carry their eggs and their supplies as a column, and they move to a safer place. Think that they are sensing something which humans cannot sense.
Ayan,
Not
ayan.
danger. Danger that the ants can sense. And so nagsisilikas sila safer ground. The whole colony, and then they establish their colony in one place. Usually, at the onset of yung sabi natin na siyam-siyam, ito yung monsoon rain na tuloy-tuloy. It's called the siyam-siyam or nep-nep because it's a continuous rain for 8 days or 9 days with a break of 1 to 2 days, then followed by another 9 days of continuous rain. So they call this as the peak of the monsoon season, which is usually in the month of August. During this period, makikita natin, magsisilikas na yung mga langgam and other animals, including reptiles. They go to higher ground. Now, is this important to us? Economically, yes. Because this is the time when the rice fields are in full cultivation and the growth rate is at its optimum. So important ito. So after 9 days plus 9 days, saka yung pagitan, you will find the fields about to produce panicles or flowers. And in a few weeks, the fields will turn golden, ready for harvest by October. By October, nandyan na yung Siberian high, yung malamig na hangin. And we call this as amihan. And again, this is the signal when the winds turn cold and refreshing, and sometimes we say, tapos na yung tag-ulan. Remember, there is something that the old folk may not like what you said, and that is when the amihan comes early, hindi pa mature yung palay, so mahina yung ani. So when the children like us in our time, panahon na ng saranggolahan, so gagawa kami ng saranggola, pupunta kami doon sa palayan, nagagalit yung mga matatanda, mga farmers. Bakit galit sila? Sabi nila, mahina naman ang ani dahil sa inyo. This is not our fault. We only reacted to the early arrival of amihan. This is conducive to kite flying. Now, one thing, Father JM, is that while we look at this early warning signs with fear and with anxiety, we also look at them with joy. We anticipate the pleasant things that this early warning device bring to us. So, yan ang masasabi ko rin.
Ayan, Doc Abe, no? Kasi sa puntong ito, no? Kasi maganda matanong din natin ang ating mga sarili, no? Bakit ba may mga sakuna, no? At sa pagtatanong ko yan sa aking sarili, itong mga different creatures, no? Parte na sa kanilang sistema na mayroong sakuna talaga. At alam na nila kung paano sila tumugon kapag dumating yung panahon, no? At syempre tayong mga tao, no? At papasok na din yung ating paniniwala, no? Bakit ba may sakuna? Bakit ba may mga namamatay, no? At kung naniniwala nga tayo sa isang Diyos, no? So dito na tayo pumapasok, no? Kasi may connection konektado ito sa paniniwala ng tao, yung paghahanda sa bawat sakuna darating, no? Kasi dito yung mental, no? It's a mental state. It's a mental state.
Yes.
Mayroong mga sakuna na hindi natin maiiwasan. Pero kamusta yung ating mental state kapag dumating ang isang sakuna? Kaya yan yung ating kailangan talaga na isaalang-alang sa ating paghahanda din, no? Gaano tayo kalakas ang ating kalooban, no?
Yes.
At yun, yung sinabi mo kanina, Doc Abe, no? Yung the will to survive, kapag nawawala na ito,
Yes.
the will to survive. So, it's something that is really psychological and spiritual din. Malaking bahagi ng paghahanda is psychological at spiritual.
Yes, Father Jeff. And the word ends in 10 ways now, in 10 ways. And one of them is the destruction of the ecosystems. Deforestation is one, pollution of waterways, especially the accumulation of plastic materials that along seashores. So that is one mention how the word ends in 10 ways. So another one is nuclear, just like the Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And some people are apprehensive with what is going on in Ukraine. And the fear is there. Parang it's a Damocles sword that may bring back the agonies of the Second World War. Pero sinasabi nila, this could be worse because the chain reaction is not only atomic, it's also quantum subatomic particles. I hope it will not happen. Of course, it's very remote, but I hope it will not happen. And to think that there is a fear of an asteroid that the Earth, just like what destroyed and made the dinosaurs extinct some 7 or 8 million years ago. So this can happen again. But again, we go back to what I said. The worst thing can happen is that we lose our will to survive. We lose our will to value life and to make life have a meaning in everything that we do every day. So ito yung pinakamahalaga.
Oo. Yung wala pang sumasagot sa ating mga viewers, no, doon sa katanungan, pero they can always think it, no, and pray over it, no, pag muni-munihan, pag nilayan. Pero sa ating dalawa, no, para sa akin, siguro parang from 1 to 10, gaano kaya ako kahanda, no, sa anumang sakuna na pwedeng dumating. Siguro sasabihin ko mga 7 to 8, ganyan, no, in a way. At saan ito nanggagaling, itong kahandang ito? Ano yung what is the parang napapaloob, no? Napapaloob sa kahandang ito. At para sa akin ay yung spiritual na paghahanda, Doc Abe, no?
Yes.
Yung paniniwala na anytime kung halimbawa dumating ang malakas na bagyo o ang isang lindol na malakas, syempre nandun pa rin, gagawin ko pa rin yung hindi pagpanik, yung talagang paghahanda na kailangan.
Yes.
Pero sa kahulit-hulian, at the end of the day, am I prepared spiritually? And I can say yes. It can happen to anybody of us, no? It can happen to people that we love. Pero kailangang tanungin yun in terms of spirituality, ang aking paniniwala na mayroong buhay pagkatapos ng buhay dito sa mundong ibabaw, no? At yan yung kagandahan ng paniniwala ng Christian belief, Christian faith, no? Mayroong mundo pagkatapos ng mundong ito na kinabubuhayan natin. Na ang mundo na wala ng lindol, wala ng mga bagyo, wala ng ano pang mga sakuna. At syempre, hindi naman natin sinasabi na hindi mahalaga ang mundong ito, hindi. So, hindi po yun yung mensahe, no? We believe in a God who created a beautiful world. Kaya lang, ang mundong ito ay meron siyang sariling proseso din ng homeostasis, kumbaga yung pagbabalanse ng lahat-lahat. Katulad ng pagsabog ng bulkan na ito ay paraan ng inang kalikasan para pagbalansehin yung kanyang sarili, no? Ang mga bagyo at iba pa, no? At iba pa. So, yun para sa akin, Doc Abe, no? Kayo
Yes.
naman po, Doc Abe, no?
Yes, Father Jen. You see, all of us, meron tayong pangarap. Meron tayong plano, ambisyon. Sometimes our ambition may reach the level of our dreams. Kaya kung minsan yung ambisyon sa dream parang iisa. There's one thing that I have learned on reaching 80. I'm now past 81.
Wow, wow.
And, I would like to share to you, just like what Father Jeff said. There is always a divine intervention. The term intervention is not a wall, but it is a gate, it is a door. So, yan ang isipin ninyo. That divine intervention is an alternative to the door or gate that you wish to open, or you have opened already and then you don't find your dreams at all. So, somebody up there gives you another door. And you will find out at the end that this door is a more beautiful, wider door. It's a door that gives more satisfaction. In fact, that satisfaction means the meaning of your life. So if you find meaning in your life, you must be thankful because the divine intervention gave you the way to fulfill your life with a meaning. Yung buhay kasi, Father Jen, maraming katanungan. Important use, one age, where, what, who, and how. But the most difficult to answer is why. Why are you here? Why do you do this? Why do you study? Why should you help your fellow men and all things? At walang exact na sagot. It will only guide you. And as you try to find the meaning of why, and try to answer it, there is a divine guidance. There is a divine guidance. And this is what gives you at the end the feeling of fulfillment. Fulfillment in your life. Kaya kung minsan pag nakita natin mga tao, kahit yanong kahirap nila sa buhay, masaya pa rin sila. Kahit nag-fail sila, what is very important there is they were able to rise. The concept of a resurrection. If they fail, it's the ability to succeed after that. So these are the things that give meaning to our life. Sinasabi namin ni Father Jen kasi ang paghahanda ng Sakuna is not because you do not want to be confronted with danger. You do not want to confront danger on your own. But it is a matter of facing the danger and doing the best thing you can. The best thing you can, and this is what they call as the borderline of the term like. And so what? Have you crossed the line? And sometimes people go to the extent of crossing the line and they become martyrs. They become heroes. Why? Because they fought for a cause. A cause is bigger than yourself. It's a kind of value in life that you fight for, like freedom.
Mm-mm.
like love, like
Mm-mm.
care,
Mm-mm.
and brotherhood, and all of those.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
These are examples of what you call as the cause for which your life is dedicated.
Mm.
So, ito ngayon yung nakikita natin that put meaning in your life.
Ang ganda, no? Oo. Ang ganda ng sinabi mo, Doc Abe, no? Yung isang tao na nabubuhay bawat araw na ganap yung kanyang pakiramdam ay sa tingin ko yun yung tao na handang-handa, no? Sa bawat sakuna, ano man ang mangyari, no? At siguro sa bilang isang pagtatapos na palaisipan, no? Kasi merong isang kaganapan sa Biblia, no? Na nagkaroon ng sakuna. This is the Great Flood. At ito yung panahon na I think tinulungan ng Panginoon para maghanda si Noe, no? The Noah's Ark. And I came across a beautiful reflection by my favorite spiritual writer Richard Rohr, no, in his book Things Hidden. At ito po yung no, basahin niyo po yung the whole chapter 7 of Genesis. Napakaganda po pala, no, sabi ni Richard Rohr. Kasi ito yung bago nagkaroon ng Great Flood, bago umulan ng 40 days and 40 nights. At namatay yung lahat ng mga animals, no? Except sa lahat ng mga tinipon dito sa ark na ito ni Noe. At makikita po natin that the Lord instructed Noah to gather all the opposites. Sabi niya, the wild, the domestic, the crawling, the flying, the clean and the unclean, the male and the female of each animal. So that's in chapter 7, verses 2 to 5 of Genesis, no? That in itself is understandable, sabi ni Richard Rohr. But wait, sabi niya, there's something more. God locks them together inside the ark during that great flood. He locks them together. No? Most people never note that God actually closed them in. God puts all the natural animosities, yung mga opposites, all the opposites together and holds them together in one place. I used to think it was about balancing all the opposites within me, but slowly I have learned that it is actually holding things unreconciled. Sabi ni Richard, you're beautiful. Holding things unreconciled that teaches us leaving them partly unresolved and without perfect closure or explanation.
Yes.
The Lord instructed Noah to prepare para sa isang sakuna. Pero this was how he instructed Noah. No? I think it speaks about God's mercy for me, no, Doc Abe.
Yes, Father
It's
Jen.
not punishment. It's not punishment.
Yes, God is not a God of punishment. Very merciful. There is a modern version of Noah's. And this is Evan Almighty.
Ayun, napanood ko yan.
Played Noah.
Yeah,
and was able to deliver the ark.
Yes.
White House and
Napakaganda yung pelikulang yan.
Yes. And then at the end, natapos na yung mission niya. At on top of a hill, nagpakita si God. And he was surprised. So he went to him and said, so you have succeeded in life. Well, with all humility, Evan said, I did not. Kasi sabi niya, you changed the word. No? Sabi niya, I did not. You did. You changed the word. No, I did not. And he said, you have a happy family, and you gave a stray dog a home. So you changed the word. And then God disappeared.
Mhm.
Came a white dove sitting on the branch of the tree.
Mhm.
And with all the respect of Evan
Uh-huh.
and all his prayers to the
Mhm.
Almighty, he
Mhm.
found himself a whole person, a whole being.
Mhm.
So what
Mhm.
does it mean? You don't really have to
Uh-huh.
aspire to change the world.
Uh-huh.
The very good things that you may do
Mhm.
to change the world. And if all of us would do the same, then we will create a better world to live in.
Yeah.
So that is
Oo. I remember, Doc Abe, no? The word ARC pala in that movie is an acronym for Acts of Random Kindness. And
yes,
I think I'd like to end with that, no? Acts of random kindness. It's what we can do to really prepare, no? In a deeper way, no? For whatever eventuality or disaster that we could face, no? Just continue doing acts of random kindness, and these are in the forms of saving up water, saving up electricity, all of these, no, little things, but acts of kindness. Mhm.
yes.
Yon, so
Yeah.
wow, ang ganda muli ng ating episode, no?
So,
So
mga
salamat po. Oo.
listeners, you can open our article, download Tatakalikasan, abrotor.blogspot.com.
Mhm.
There are articles in the previous episodes.
Mhm.
You can share with your family, with your friends, with your
Mhm.
the multiplier effect is also a way by which we face
Yes. Acts of random kindness. Salamat sa mga acts of random kindness ni Justin at saka ni Teo at saka ni Tita Cecil.
Yes, Brother Justin, Theo, and where is Cecil and Marlo? Thank you very much. Thank you
So
very much, Brother James.
salamat din, Doc Abe. At so hanggang sa muli po nating pagsasama sa susunod na Huwebes. So salamat, magtaka, magmasid, mag-isip. May utak ang kalikasan, katipunang tahanan, katipunang tatak, kalikasan. Radyo, tatak.
Lamig, init, ulan, hangin, kumakalingang kalikasan. Ating alagaan at ingatan. Kumusta na ang ating kalikasan? Pag-usapan natin ang kalagayan ng mundo at kung paano tayo makatutulong sa pagkalinga sa ating tahanan. Kasama sina Father J.M. Manzano ng Kapisanan ni Jesus at si Dr. Abencio V. Rotor. Ito ang Tatakalikasan sa Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
The voice of the Blue Eagle. Radyo Katipunan 87.9.